we're wrapping up this conversation with one last question, and this is more related to your actual research that you're conducting on. You mentioned hard head and heart stunning. Please tell us a little bit about this research and a little bit about the importance of this research and some of the results and implications of the data you guys found.
Yeah, this is an older study that we did. So back in I think we published this one in like 2010 or 2012 or so. But anyway, the project has probably been the most impactful work I've been a part of. So what really spurred us on here, got us started, was that we were hearing reports from small and very small slaughter establishments of pigs that were returning to consciousness during the bleed out period. So they'd be stunned and they'd be hoisted and they're bleeding and they're clearly returning to consciousness. They're showing writing reflexes and vocalizing and looking around, and it was not good. And so we thought, let's see if we can figure out a way to fix this before it becomes a really big visual issue, right? And at that same time, I ran across a good friend named Erica Vogel. And Erica is somebody that does a lot of animal welfare related work. She's a consultant, and she's spent a lot of her career working with Temple. So they have a very similar view on things in general. And Erica had been telling a lot of her consulting clients for quite some time that after they head only stun, they should apply another stun to the heart area of the pig, and that should knock out the heart and give them more time to hoist and to bleed. So there wasn't any validation work on that yet. So we designed a validation study and tested it out. What we found was that it worked. In over 80% of the pigs that we applied the second heart stun to, we were able to knock out the heart. We couldn't find a detectable heartbeat. So we figured that was a successful thing. We also found that the effects on meat quality were fairly minimal. And I think part of that was because the effects on meat quality were masked by the fact that it was a small plant that couldn't get the pigs to the cooler that fast anyway. So, if I were going to tell you that it had no effect at all on quality, I think I'd be lying, because there'd have to be an effect. You're applying a high amount of electrical energy to the carcass. It's going to cause some damage to the carcass. So we published that work. And after we published that work, we learned that there were a lot of plants, small and very small plants, originally in the upper Great Lakes region, but it sort of branched out more from there, that were picking up this method of electrical stunning for their pigs. I think it's pretty common now. And it's affected a lot of pigs and a lot of people. So that's one project in particular that was pretty cool to be a part of.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but when you mentioned the second stunning, so you stun the head and then after that you stun the heart, or will you just tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So what we did is we had two treatments in that study. One treatment was a head only stun that was applied for 3 seconds. And we were using the typical red box Best and Donovan Model ES stunner that a lot of people have, with the fork type stunning wand. So we didn't have tongs, although usually I recommend that people use tongs now because they hold on to the pig's head better. So that's a voltage regulated stunner. So we had it set for an output that would give us somewhere around 2 amps of current when we took the resistance of the pig into consideration. And so this was usually somewhere around like 290 volts is about where we were. So that was you could almost call it our control, because it was what the industry was using at that time.
Just the head.
Yeah, just head only. Then for our head heart treatment, we applied the same head only stun for 3 seconds. We followed that immediately with the application of the stunning wand to the area right behind the sort of the armpit of the pig, if pigs had armpits. So right over the heart for another 3 seconds. And then after that, you go right into shackling and hoisting and everything else. So it was just that little secondary step.
Okay.
So, yep, that was our head heart treatment.
Okay. Yeah, awesome. Because I know, for example, what we do here is we have the long stunning, the stunner, but then you have the heart in the head, and you get all those at the same time instead of one being first and the one being the secondary one. Do you think that's also kind of related to that, like getting the two of them? Would you say totally different?
It's very similar.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that the process that you're using is going to do it all in one step. So, either way, you're accomplishing the same objective there, and that's to try to fibrillate the heart, to get that heart to beat in a very arrhythmic manner.